Everyone thinks the stock market crash of 2008 was the first time millions lost their fortunes overnight. They are wrong. In 1711, right here in London, the British government was drowning in debt from wars. A merchant named John Blunt had an idea: create a company to trade with the South Seas, the unexplored territories off South America. The government would hand the company their debt in exchange for stock. Sounds clean. It wasn't. What nobody knew yet was that the South Seas held almost no gold, almost no trade, almost nothing at all. But in 1711, that information gap didn't matter. By 1719, the South Sea Company started buying up government debt aggressively. They promised dividends of 5, 10, sometimes 50%. Investors believed it. Why? Because the company's own directors were buying shares hand over fist. If the directors trusted it, ordinary merchants figured so should they. Nobility joined in. Widows liquidated their savings. Servants pooled wages. The price climbed from £128 per share to £550 in a single year. Nobody was checking the company's books carefully. That's the real hinge. The directors had every incentive to inflate profits on paper. Stock certificates were printed faster than actual trade happened. By January 1720, the bubble had already inflated beyond reason, but the people buying at the peak didn't know they were at the peak. They thought they were still climbing. Then in June 1720, 6 months after the peak, a few insiders started selling. Just quietly, enough to test the market. The price didn't fall at first, but it wobbled. That wobble spooked others. By August, the collapse was vertical. The stock that had reached £1.050 per share plummeted to £190, then £100. Fortunes evaporated in weeks. Some investors lost everything. A handful of wealthy directors walked away richer than before. What made the South Sea bubble so lethal wasn't that people were greedy. It's that the system, the transparency, the oversight, the incentives, was designed to reward deception. Directors profited whether the company succeeded or failed. Investors had no reliable information. And the cascade effect meant that once doubt crept in, panic spread like fire. The moment the first insider sold, the spell was broken. Parliament eventually investigated. Some directors faced prosecution. But the real lesson wasn't punishment, it was architecture. The South Sea bubble exposed a gap in how markets were regulated. It took centuries of crashes, reforms, and new crashes before governments built the guardrails we recognize today. And even then, those guardrails bend under pressure. The bubble didn't end speculation. It just taught speculators to be quieter. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into how financial systems fail and what they reveal about who pays the cost. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.